So here we are back on our results page, having completed our initial search here. So we've been in our search and find use case, but we're now going to move on to something else. Let's move on to experts, our next use case. Now with experts, it's important to recognize that I can't possibly be the only person within my organization who's done this sort of work on leases before. Now traditionally, there's a couple of challenges that we've managed to solve for with iManage Raven Insight. So with other expert databases, users can be befuddled at why they fall where they do in the ranking. There's also the issue that the data that powers this database could rely on information that's either outdated or requires the users themselves to keep inputting the information in, say, a biography. We've solved for that by allowing the customer to actually select which items go into the ranking here. So for this environment, we've selected documents authored, associate profiles, which would be those biographies, but then also effort tracked, which is also hours. So we have 3 different factors that make up this ranking here. Moreover, we allow the end user to also change this relevancy widget here as well. So if the person is particularly interested and wants to focus on who's authored the most documents, I could slide this widget up, and now I know that Logan Gaines is at the top because he's authored perhaps the most documents. Now let's open Logan to determine that a little bit further. And when I do, you can see that there's 773 items that Logan Gaines has authored that appear under our documents here. We can also very easily then toggle over to the matters that those documents are associated to, as well as the business units that he has serviced for those matters in creating those documents. Finally, we have a knowledge graph. Now this is a visual representation of the same information. So we've displayed the top 20 results, which are documents here relating to our search terms. If I want to focus instead just on matters, I'll deselect the documents and business units. So now we're focusing on the top 20 matters. So if I know that my present drafting exercise is very similar to the Johnson & Johnson matter, I can click this button to reveal the documents, people, and business units that were closely related to Logan Gaines in that particular matter of Johnson & Johnson. So I can easily uncover related material that will be very helpful for me in my drafting exercise. Now I can also favorite Logan Gaines. It's not just for documents, but any item here can be favorited. So since he's drafted so many documents and leases, I can tell that he could be a go-to resource for me as I continue to do this type of work. So let's go back to our results list where we can continue to our next use case.